I just think it's fucking hilarious because it did not catch your, like, really loud. Like, fuck!
Yeah. That's referencing the end of the last episode. I went to say fuck Bailey, but the episode cut me off. So I want everybody to know the podcast's official stance. Fuck Bailey. But he is also welcome on the show at any point in time he decides to come on.
Oh, man. Hey, let me get one of those.
Sure thing. Hey, we'll do a cigarette review while we're on here.
Oh, yeah. That's what we...
that was one of the original first episodes.
Thing we ever fucking did. Oh, man. Story time.
So, it all started with, like, hey, let's do a podcast. And we had recorded some just bullshit episodes.
Yeah.
But we were like, all right, hey, let's do our first episode. We're going to do cigarette reviews.
Yeah.
And I believe it was the Camel Turkish...
We reviewed a Smooth first.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, because I had accidentally bought a pack of Smooths instead of Reds. And by accidentally, I mean the lady behind the counter grabbed me the wrong one, and I didn't feel like correcting her.
Laziness at its finest.
Yes. And so I was like, we'll just review one of these. And you were like, all right, I have a silver. We'll review this too. No, you had the Jades. You didn't have the silvers. You had the Jades. We'll review this one too. We'll just do 2 totally new cigarettes. Because we were going to review a cigarette that we had already tasted. And the reason we had chosen to do the review episode was because when we were all sampling it, because it was me, Phil, and Casper, when we were sampling it, we were all talking about how we felt about it because it was a new cigarette for all of us. So we were like kind of trying to describe it, you know, and we were trying to use like fancy connoisseur words because we felt like being, I guess, kind of silly. Although I feel like they were pretty accurate. And we were like, you know what, that didn't suck. Let's review this again tomorrow for the podcast, because I think I had something to do. And not long after that, you know, I had to buy a new pack of cigarettes and shit, and we reviewed it. And then we don't have any of those episodes anymore. They are long, long lost episodes, unfortunately, of Casual Gestation that just exist out in the cosmos and nowhere else. We can't access them.
Yep. I also haven't put a whole lot of effort into trying to get to them, so...
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day we'll just crack into it and be like, oh, here they are, and we'll release a bunch of lost episodes.
Yeah.
But the first episode was a cigarette review, which is what we're about to do for you right now.
I've already started reviewing mine.
I can see.
It's pretty good. It's definitely a cigarette. It's got some paper, a filter, and tobacco in it. I'm digging it. This is definitely a good design. On the side of it, it's got Turkish gold on it.
Yep.
And I think that helps the stability of the cigarette to stay together mid-flight.
What?
You know, whenever it's in your hand and you take it up to your mouth mid-flight of the cigarette, helps the stability. It's the joke that, like, it's unnecessary to have stamped Turkish gold on the side when the ring at the bottom would have been fine.
I can feel that. I don't know.
It was just very out there.
It was super out there. Like, I got the joke, and I was like, why are you making this joke? I don't know. I don't know where I was going with all my questions. Anyway. It's got this nice line design down the side.
Yep.
Following the circumference, so, like, the rings themselves that just form a series of rings. They're not touching. They're not connected.
They are super smooth, though.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're not smoking anything. But they do still have a good hit on them. Mm-hmm. They're not a heavy pull, but it does hit you in the throat. It gives you that good burn that you want.
Yeah. These are the Turkish Royal Smooths. You know, the Turkish Royal Golds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it really doesn't have a ton of taste to it. It's got just like the faintest hint of tobacco taste.
Right.
Yeah.
But all in all, I'd say 8 out of 10. Good cigarette. I thoroughly am enjoying it.
8 out of 10 would smoke again.
I would.
Yeah.
I would hope so, because I bought 2 packs of it.
This is a weird cigarette review.
It's very short and sweet and to the point.
Yeah.
They're good cigarettes. Buy them.
They're solid. If you like...
I'll put it like this. If you're a fan of Camel's other cigarettes, you'll probably be a fan of these.
Yeah. I will also say, if you like Marlboro Smooths, like Marlboro Golds... or silvers, because those are both...
I was about to say, Marlboro Smooth's the blue...
No, not the blues. I'm talking about the actual, like, what were Smooths before they released a cigarette that was called Smooths.
Right.
These would probably be a good transition into Camel products if you're looking to taste another type of tobacco.
Right.
And you're a normal Marlboro consumer.
Man, have you ever tried those Marlboro Smooths?
Yeah, I have had a couple.
They're strong.
They're minty.
They're very minty.
Yeah. Actually, back when Robin was pregnant and I was playing Dungeons and Dragons one night a week. This probably makes me sound like a terrible husband, but I'd go one night a week and play Dungeons and Dragons with my friend Pete. And we'd have to drive out and back into town and go to work. So but he smoked smooths. And on the way back from Dungeons and Dragons, we would smoke smooths, and for some reason I was really stressed when he was smoking smooths. It was a short, 2 or 3 week period, and he switched back to just menthols. But I would just chain smoke them, and it would make my mouth feel really clean for work.
It'll do that. It definitely will do that. They're so pepperminty.
Yeah, no, they really are. I don't know. It's like
I was talking to somebody the other day
cane.
that was like, yeah. I was talking to somebody the other day that was like, I had to stop smoking them because it was too much peppermint.
Wow. If you have a peppermint allergy, would that cause a reaction with that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think they use actual peppermint in there.
Well,
so
I would imagine not, but I'm curious.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming the taste and actual allergy are two different things.
Well, right, but the chemicals that you would use to recreate the taste might be close to the chemicals that create the taste for the candy cane.
Or they could be batshit opposite.
I mean, they could. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just curious.
I don't know.
It's a question.
I'm not a chemist.
I know you're not a chemist. That's why I was just pondering on it. I was like, hey, Phil, what you think about this chemical here and this chemical here? I mean, visually, if I had them both here, we could tell how close they were.
But we don't.
I think I'm going to look that up later. How does Marlboro make their smooths so pepperminty? Because it is a monster.
They sacrifice virgin babies.
Sacrifice virgin babies.
Hey man, if you're gonna start sacrificing things, I guess.
Hey, what did I miss on that Katrina conspiracy video, by the way?
I fell asleep.
Ah, damn it. We were watching this video about Katrina being fake the other night.
I don't think it was about Katrina necessarily being fake as much as the government response to it being phoned in.
Being phoned in?
I think that was the gist of it, but again, I fell asleep.
The vibes I was getting before I passed out on it, because it was talking about, the last thing I remember hearing was that FEMA was waiting on a call from the city of New Orleans in regards to getting the activity started and shit. But what that obviously seemed to be leading to in the video was that, the call would be placed and they would either not pick up or claim to have not received it or something. And that's why FEMA basically didn't show up for Katrina. Is that basically the government wanted to see what would happen if they didn't step in. I will say, I think the states did the best that they could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the levee hadn't broken, that would have been. I mean, it would have been bad, but it wouldn't have been as
terrible. It would have been a bad day to take your Chevy to the levee.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Levee wasn't dry either.
No, it was not.
It was not.
That joke's probably really inappropriate.
We were actually talking about that the other day at the visitation. We were Katrina.
All right.
There's actually 10 people that have still never been found or identified, and Dad's theory is that they just stole somebody's identity and now they're living off the government.
What do you mean?
What did you not understand?
10 people that are missing that haven't been identified,
No, they haven't been. Their bodies hadn't been found. Nobody's come forward to say, "Hey, this was me."
Oh, okay, all right. And so those, all right, I'm with you. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either. I mean, if you're smart enough to do it and you can do it well,
yeah. Were any of them convicts? Because the prisons were released.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that violates some kind of fucking human rights laws to keep prisoners just in prisons that are going to flood.
Yeah.
It's got to.
And now when you say release, they weren't just all right, well, fucking have a good time, try not to murder somebody again.
They released them into New Orleans.
I thought they moved them to other prisons.
I don't know. I was told by my friend from Louisiana that they were let out. because the hurricane was going to hit, and they couldn't take them anywhere or do anything about it because the buses wouldn't make the journey. You know, it's the hurricane time. And I think part of the reason that they waited that long was partially due to the FEMA inactivity. I think it was related in what I was told. And so they were kind of just put out, and they were like, hey, try to survive the hurricane. We're sorry we don't have any more help for you. But, you know, the city of New Orleans has help for you. Just, we can't do anything here, the prisons or whatever. And those people were let out. And then if they survive the hurricane, you know, and we're still in Louisiana.
So basically they almost had a trial by combat.
Yeah.
Wow.
They
Okay.
almost went medieval on it. Like, if you survive.
You're forgiven.
I think so.
Wow.
Shit.
If that's how that went down, Jesus.
Well, you know, I think they did, you know, round some of them back up. But it's one of those things where, like, they had to go get you, and this is NOLA. You know, there are parts of NOLA the cops don't go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Parts of that flooded pretty fucking severely too.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. There's parts of... Aren't there still parts of New Orleans that haven't, like, had the water drained out yet?
Not completely drained out, I think. I know the lower Ninth Ward is still really, really bad.
Yeah.
Well, like, and that place was bad before, and, like, it's...
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. Well, it's one of those, like, they're, 20 feet below the water level? Is that at the lowest points in the city, or that just, like, the base average for the city?
I think that's the base average.
Yeah, which means even lower points are, like, 30, 40, maybe 50. Like, you're talking about digging into the aquifer at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, a lot of that was swampland, too.
Yeah, so the aquifer was already high.
So...
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy stuff.
Have you seen all the pictures and shit of Houston?
No.
Oh, God, it's
Is it
bad.
bad?
It's bad.
Oh.
Like, there's... You know how they'll have, like... There's a road, and then a bridge, and then another bridge above that one?
Hey, sometimes, yeah.
There's that first bridge is up to that in water. Like, it's at least 8 feet up.
That is some hella flooding.
And probably closer to, like, 12 to 16, because a lot of those are diesel-friendly, so diesel would have to be able to pass under it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's, like, closer to 12 to
like
16
14,
feet.
Yeah. But it also depends if that road's going through a low point, too.
Right.
But yeah, no, that is awful. That's crazy, because I know somebody else, there's families in Houston, and they're doing fine.
Huh.
It's, you know, Anna?
Yeah.
Her dad's. Of course, I heard that on, like, Friday, so.
It's gotten a lot worse since Friday.
Yeah. I love that it was a Category 4 for all of a day, and then it hit land, and it was like, shoo! Yeah. They were like, it's Katrina to Texas, and I was like, watch this. There it was.
Yeah, because there was times that it was moving 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
With, like, a sustained winds of, like, 50 or 60 miles an hour within the storm.
Yeah.
So, like, that's fucking a lot of wind for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing a lot of debris around.
Yeah. Well, the thing with that is, like, you know, Katrina stayed at Category 4 when she was on land. So
yeah.
She was 8 miles an hour and, what was it, like 115 to 135 mile an hour winds?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, she was ramping it up. Man, Mother Nature can pack a punch.
Yeah.
It's crazy, though, because Rob and I were actually talking about this a little bit earlier, about the tenacity of the human race. And one of the things I mentioned is that we're not, like, that easy to kill. And it's not because biologically we're not easy to kill.
We're just stubborn.
Yeah, we respond to things. So, like, if tomorrow a sudden ice winter were to come, people could start bundling up and trying to figure out a way to stay warm through however long this icy, like...
And not a good chunk, but enough of them would succeed.
Yeah.
To carry on the human race, at least.
Yeah, the human race would continue from that. Exactly.
All right. But this has been covered by BIPCOT No Gov license, meaning anybody but the government can use it. But that's not entirely true. Dakota, tell them why.
Yes, so we do not allow public use without permission, and we do not allow private use without permission. So please contact us if you'd like to use our content for any other project of any type.
That went a lot more smoothly now that you know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, that being said, I think that we're allowed, under free use, we're still allowed to be referenced if people are talking about, like, a subject that we've talked about.
Yeah, I think so.
So, like, we're not going to be assholes. Just, you know, if you're going to make content based entirely around ours, you know, please contact us first.
Right.
But, yeah, no, I said the public and private use thing, so that's there, too.
Right. Later.
Adios!